Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Garage Gym Athlete Podcast. I'm your host, Jared Moon. The Garage Gym Athlete Podcast is a result of my desire to build better humans, unequivocal coaches, and autonomous athletes. I've spent the last several years obsessing over program design, nutrition, and every other way you can optimize human performance. This podcast distills the latest scientific research with what I've learned and blends it with the not-so-scientific field of mental toughness. We are here to build you into a dangerously effective athlete. If you enjoy this podcast, you can find out more about our training at garagegymathlete.com. And if you want to pursue more into the field of coaching and programming, head to endof3fitness.com. Thanks for listening. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Jared Moon here with Joe Courtney. What's up, Joe?
Hey, how's it going?
Good. And we have Kris Otten. How you doing, man?
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, glad to have you. We're going to just jump right in, and I'm going to throw it to you. So, intro, man. What do you do? How do you train? All that good stuff.
Awesome. My name's Kris Otten. I just recently retired from the Marine Corps. 25 years of playing that game. So, retired back in March, and then COVID hit. So, I became a stay-at-home dad / substitute teacher, IT professional, and short order cook all at the same time.
Nice.
So that was interesting. I haven't actually figured out what retirement is like yet, and I won't because I start a new job next Monday as a contract simulator instructor for the helicopters up in Wayne.
Oh, that's cool.
That's awesome, man. So how's the transition been? I mean, that's just a crazy, most people just they're like, oh, good, a little break. And you're like, okay, well, straight into a pandemic. How about that for ending my career?
Yeah, it definitely changed than what I thought was going to be happening. I thought I was going to, be able to take the kids to school, drop them off, come home, get a workout in, do whatever I wanted during the day, go pick them up from school and, come home happy as could be. But it's definitely increased our quality family time. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it.
Yeah, and awesome. It's been a blessing. I mean, you can look at the bad side of things, but you can also look at the fact that I get to be home with the kids this much.
Right.
But I'm ready to go back to work for a little bit.
Yeah, I got you, man. So looks like you're in your garage right now. So what's your setup like? Your equipment and everything? So
I got kind of the basic stuff. I got the Echo bike and the rower, rack, couple vests, kettlebells, sandbags. So I'm ready for your one man, one sandbag thing that everybody's been preaching.
It's coming.
And bunch of wall balls that I haven't touched in months because I've been, we don't really use those things too much in this programming. So I like it. And the one thing that I really like is the rack. I know everybody's got these big names, Rogue and Rep and all those guys, but I got something I would encourage anybody to do. Instead of dropping rogue money on this kind of stuff, find a local fabricator in your area. Tell him you want a power rack built, and he will make it exactly the size that you want. He'll make it with whatever accessories you want if he's good enough. I had a guy down in Virginia Beach, made this entire rack for me. I painted it so I could touch it up later on if I wanted to, but highly recommend finding some of those skilled tradesmen that can do this kind of stuff and, put your money to them instead of the big names that are going to take 8 to 10 weeks to ship it.
And then just out of curiosity, what's the price difference on something like that? I've never worked with a fabricator before.
So this rack, 3x3, and I got it custom sized because what I wanted to do is I wanted to keep my entire rack with the weights. I'm not sure if you can actually see that I have them hanging inboard as opposed to outboard. I wanted to keep it all within a 48-inch square. So the depth is only about 36 inches and that kind of stuff. But he made it all to my specs, exactly how high I wanted it and everything. $600 bare steel.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it came to me. I threw down a bunch of coats of epoxy primer on it, and then I painted it blue because I like blue. And I'm into the entire rack for about $700 after all. And he made the safeties.
Those the J-cups look custom and interesting.
Dude,
too.
That's huge. Yeah.
They're all handmade. I mean, the guy was, they're craftsmen. Like those guys got some major skills. And he wasn't, this was before the pandemic that I bought this thing, but he got exponentially busier during the pandemic because, the wait times. He's cranking out these things on his CNC machine, and 4 or 5 days, you got your power rack sitting in your driveway. So
that's awesome.
Look for local talent. That's kind of what brought me to him. So
I love I haven't seen it. Maybe other racks have done it, but I love that it says squat and it says bench.
I'm pretty sure you wrote that.
Yeah, I did that. So I did that with my wife bought a Cricut. I don't know if you guys know what a Cricut is. It's a little stencil machine that you can cut vinyl letters out of. I was like, well,
sounds like I'm getting
something.
one.
Yeah, I want something productive. So I stuck them, because then that way, 4:30 in the morning, 5 a.m., whatever time I'm out here, I know exactly where to put them and just get after it. So a little bit easier.
The reason I noticed it is because I messed that up like at least 60% of the time. Like when I'm like switching from squat position to bench position, I'm always like, I get down on the bench and I'm like, this is a little bit lower than it should be.
You don't mark your holes?
No, I don't. I just deal with it. I've just been dealing with it for years.
Nice. No, yeah. No.
That's awesome.
My daughter's hooked me up with some words on there for me. It works out great.
That's awesome, man. I love the setup. So we'll have to get a picture to the community because it's a beautiful, beautiful rack. And if you would have just not said anything, I would have assumed you got it from one of the major Rogue or Fringe or Titan or something like that. And especially the colored racks. I know Rogue sells them, but I'm sure Rogue also charges extra money for not doing their basic powder coat. So it looks awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. And it gets scratched up, but the beauty of it is just Rust-Oleum. I can just go down to the local hardware store, grab another can of it, and paint it up, and it looks good as new all over again.
That's great. Now, what was the big reason for starting a garage gym?
So my reasoning and kind of my fitness journey started back in 2018. I've been in the Marine Corps for years. And generally in the Marine Corps, pretty good PT regiment, that kind of stuff. But I was at a staff. So it was me and 2 other Marines in the entire building. So there wasn't a lot of organized PT going on, which if you have organized PT going on, it's very easy just to fall on that crutch as, I'll just work out then. I don't got to worry about it. So 2018, I'm 6 foot tall. I was sitting in a meeting in Huntsville, Alabama about some new missile. And we had gone out partying the night before in Huntsville. Lots of good breweries there. Not sure if you know. But I was in what I called my fat flight suit. My flight suit that was a little bit bigger, but it had a little extra room. And I kind of looked down, and that thing was tight. And I was like, oh, goodness, what has happened? So I get back to Virginia from Huntsville. I get on the scale. It's March of 2018. I weigh 218 pounds. And Marine Corps says I can weigh 202. So I got some serious work to do so that I can do my physical fitness test. Well, I was out of shape, not eating right, drinking too much, everything. So I started looking around at some options, what to do. So what I did is I created what I called the Dad Bod Challenge with a bunch of guys at work. And 10 of us got in, $50 buy-in, winner take all. And it was for the amount of body fat that you lost during an 8-week challenge. So we all went over to the Marine gym. We weighed in on the one of those in-bodies that runs the ohms through you. Probably not the most scientific way to do it, but it's
consistent. You're all doing the same thing. So yeah.
Yeah, it was a constant across the board. So we all went in, weighed over there. And when you hop on that thing and you realize that you're over a quarter fat, the light bulb turns on. It's time for you to do something. So we had the 8-week challenge. I did not win. Somebody else did, but I ended up losing about 36% body fat, getting significantly lower than I was before.
That's huge.
In that 8 weeks, it kind of flipped something. Like my kids started noticing it. They're like, "Oh, Daddy, you need to go work out because you're starting to get cranky," and that kind of stuff. So it started to turn into this just a routine, and I started slowly. I got a Concept 2 off Facebook Marketplace. That was my first thing that I ever had in the gym. And I started realizing how nice it was to be able to just work out at home instead of, we had organized workouts that you could go do some functional fitness type things at either the Navy gym or the Marine gym up there. And I would do those initially, but then my other workouts were very much, I go to 5 different websites and I pick the things out of those websites that I wanted to do that day. Well, the things I never wanted to do were 100 burpees just to get a buy-in for, I didn't want to do lunges. I didn't want to do squats. I didn't want to do any of that stuff. So I would just do the things that made me happy, not really towards an overall goal of getting healthier. So my wife's blessing, we started piecing together things from Facebook Marketplace, local vendors and that kind of stuff. And the only thing that I actually bought new that I wouldn't get rid of is that Echo bike. That's the only thing that I was like, all right, I want one of those, and I ordered it. But what a life-changing way to be able to work out, like Joe's stuck in his one-room shack, so he doesn't get to do it right now. So I don't know how to handle it.
Glad weather's better, so at least I can run.
Yeah,
there you go.
I run into that all the times I've moved. It's like once the gym gets packed up, it's like, what am I going to do? Like that's always the difficult part.
I literally just got this put back together 2 days ago. I finally got to switch back to hard to kill because I switched to no gear because we were in the middle of PCS. The movers held all this stuff hostage on a moving van for a week. So I finally got everything back together, got back out here, and it's so much more relaxing if I get a workout in the morning. My kids, they can see the difference in Dad. Like, oh, it's not angry Dad today. You must have worked out. Or, Daddy, you need to go work out because you're getting angry. Like, okay, no problem.
Noted.
Yeah, it's fun. But
that's huge. So you're hitting it up in the morning most days?
I do. Yeah, I like to get up about 5:30. I have a cup of coffee, just kind of get ready, get going, come out in the garage, turn on some tunes, and usually I'll come out the night before. Like today was hard to kill with a bunch of squats. So I came out, set up squats last night after the kids went to bed. Came out, turn on some tunes, and just get after it. You're done by 6:30. The kids are waking up and ready to roll.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good. That's what I'm transitioning my schedule. I normally do afternoon, but the heat in Texas is bringing me back to mornings. So I'll be doing that. Really, that's kind of what I've been starting, and I actually do enjoy it. Like what you're saying, it just gets your mind right for the rest of the day. It really does make you a better version of yourself for the rest of the day. And that's
not procrastinate. That's what I was running into.
You procrastinate?
Yeah, I would before when I would, because normally I was like a 9:30, 10 o'clock kind of person, but I could easily procrastinate for like an hour and then it'd be delayed. And then I'm just like, well, now I'm just hungry.
Well, that's what would frustrate me about middle of the day is like, I liked it because it would just give me a way to like break up the day instead of just like working straight through. But things like you're saying, like something would come up and it's like, oh, well, this thing is important. So now I need to shift another hour before I work out. And that happens too frequently. And I don't enjoy that because I'll still get it done, but I'm like, especially when I was doing Murph every week, I would like life would get in the way, and I end up doing it like 8:00 at night, and I'm like, I hate everything about this. Like, I don't want to do this right now, but I'm going to.
Yeah, but you have to. Yeah, exactly.
So you've accomplished quite a bit, and that's phenomenal. So what are your goals right now?
So goals are like hard. Initially, I started out very superficial goals. I started out with the shred track. I wanted to lose some extra weight. I wanted to get down. My goal was below 190. I made that the first set of doing shred. I did shred the last 12 weeks. So they were very superficial initially, but ever since I've discovered you guys, and I was turned on you guys from a buddy of mine, Quincy. He's like, this is the one to go with. Try it out. Tried your guys' 14-day, and I was in. It's more now a lifestyle change. The fact that before, a lot of people say that their hobbies are, I like to work out. Well, I don't want that to be a hobby. I want that to be a lifestyle. So my goal is to consistency. I had all green dots during shred, and I was stoked on it. And then this hard to kill set has been a disaster between moves and all that stuff. So consistency is my big goals. Just getting stronger and healthier, and one more superficial goals. I want that sub 7 minute, 2,000 meter row.
Nice. Yeah.
Got exactly 7 minutes the last time I attempted.
That's a brutal one.
Fell off the rower and cussed a couple times and just kept on.
It's like, I'm selling my rower. I'm done. It's going on Marketplace right now.
I was so mad that day. And I thought I was 100% into that thing. I was like, and I cover it up when I'm doing it, so I don't watch it.
Oh, it might have helped. That might have been that 1 second you needed. No, I don't. And honestly, I don't believe that because on the rower, you can set it up. I think you have to have the right display, but it'll show you your projected finish.
Yeah.
And so when you have that projected finish staring at you, but when you get like the last, let's just say 400, 500 meters of a 2,000 meter row, there's nothing left. There's not like, oh, we'll just kick in that next gear. And like, really, it's not there. Everything is gone. Like everything is gone. You're just trying to hold on. You're trying to not die for that last bit of time.
It's like, I don't even know if I can bend forward to unstrap my feet right now. Kind of feeling.
So 1 second faster is not going to happen unless,
It hurt that day because like I said, I cover it up and I know, I got another clock in the background. So I know at around 8 minutes, I should be way done with it. And I had gone extra and I peeled it off and it said 7.00. I was that's all right.
You'll get it next
week's
time.
Coming.
Yeah, you'll get it
I'll
next
get
time.
it again this fit week. So.
We kind of hit on what you're doing for Garage Gym Athlete. You kind of piece and workouts together and whatnot. And I kind of got what you're doing in the Marine Corps. Was there anything else you feel like, you want to hit on there?
Yeah, just a lot of the other stuff I was doing too is, when I got in that, lose body fat challenge, I was just doing what I now realize was just a ton of zone 2 running.
Yeah.
Like my job was not very intensive at that point. It was working in a cubicle, and I'm not the kind of person that was built to work in a cubicle. So I would leave at 10:30 in the morning and go run for 2.5 hours, and come back because I didn't want to be in the office. I'd change, shower back up, put my flight suit back on and go back in and be like, oh, okay, time to go home now. So it was a lot of boredom running is what it was. But you go crush out 8 miles in a day just to get out of the office kind of thing. So I realized that was actually hurting me. My knees were starting to hurt. My lower back was hurting. I started analyzing how I was running, like Joe said to do. And I figured out that wasn't probably the best idea. So I needed to get on something that, in the Marine Corps for 25 years, I need somebody to tell me what to do. Thank you, you guys. You guys are doing
that. We'll try and fill that void in what way we can.
Especially hard to kill.
Oh, man. And hard to kill. Like, I felt bad the past couple of weeks where I switched over to, no gear because they had all my stuff. And I see everybody on the Facebook page and everything, and everybody's like, oh, hard to kill today. It was brutal. And I'm like, I want to do that. I was like, it's that shared misery that we all have by doing hard to kill. So I love it. Like, I would not going anywhere anytime soon. I know that.
Awesome, man. And we're glad to have you. So it sounds like you like training in your garage, obviously, but like any struggles with it, any hard parts to it?
Hard part, organizing the garage. You got a 2-car garage, and before it was packed full of stuff because we didn't have an attic. Luckily, we moved into a house. We've got an attic now. So I have so much unnecessary stuff stuffed away that the garage now is in a pretty happy state because I come out here, like, I want things where they belong. I like it to be clean. My floors are ridiculous in here. I'll show those to you in a little bit, but it's just insane the way I like to have things. Some of the struggle really comes when my kids come rolling out. They're like, ooh, daddy, scooter time. Scooters on the floor, trash over here, and that kind of stuff. So it's just the disorganization that other people put into it that kind of causes some of my struggle. And then time is not a factor. Being retired is amazing, for as far as this has been. And then I train early in the morning, so everybody else is sleeping, so I don't bother anybody. Sometimes I got to fight the kids for room on the rack if they're out here, and we're trying to do like a meet yourself Saturday, where I usually do those a little bit later in the morning because the kids want to play and that kind of stuff. But they like to do pull-ups and swing from the TRX bands and stuff like that on the rack, so boot them out. But no real challenges as far as that goes, because I'm pretty blessed in the schedule that I have right now.
I agree with you in that challenge, though. And I have scooters and junk. It's just funny. What's happened is, like, if it gets put in the garage, it has like a time limit before it's just going to get thrown away. Like, that's what my family knows now. It's like, you can leave this toy in here, but if I bring it in the house and then it comes back out, like, I'm assuming you don't want it, is my my assumption. So there are some things that are organized, but what's also funny from that is because this never used to happen, but since I've become that way, Emily will just actually put trash in the garage. Like, cause she knows I will deal with it very quickly.
Play in the system.
If it's in that space.
Nice.
So it's almost just like, okay, yeah, you want to throw things away? Here you go. There's a bunch of trash boxes, whatever. Yeah, I'll put it right next to your squat rack.
Genius.
Yeah.
Hope my wife doesn't listen to this. She might start.
Yeah, it's been a good system so far. All right, man. To some of the other questions now. So what's the hardest workout you have ever done?
Oh, so this is funny because I thought hard about this. Did tons of hard workouts in the Marine Corps in between, what I always knew as humping, which rucking, rucking the mountains in San Diego and that kind of stuff with 35-pound mortar barrels on your back, plus all your equipment. I thought that was hard. And then I got introduced to that little pain that you call Zone 2 Murph.
It hurts your feelings.
I was so mad the day that I did Zone 2 Murph because I've never not finished Murph in under an hour. Even when I first started, like my first Murph ever was terrible, vested, all that stuff. But doing Zone 2 Murph literally made me meet myself because I was so mad at myself that I couldn't get my heart rate back down into Zone 2. That I've done it several times since then, and I'm starting to get my heart rate under control. So it definitely chalks itself up as the hardest workout that I ever had to do.
That's awesome. I'm so glad that's
not awesome. It was brutal.
That's the answer.
Yeah, I was pretty pissed too. I basically said I'm never doing it again.
Yeah, right. You just get mad at it. You're like, why? You're like, I can knock this out, no problem. But how come my heart won't just come down? And it, just sits there right there at the top, and you try to knock out a couple more reps. Bing, peaks out. You're like, just wanted to take that Polar H10 strap off. I just want to take it off and chuck it across the room. I was so mad.
Yeah, I think, was it Joe? You were pretty angry at that one, I believe.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I like that Jared just laughs about it. He's like, yeah, well, that's what I do.
That's why I mean, that one, we have a lot of physically challenging ones, and that one, it's the same amount of work as Murph, but that one's so much more of like a internal conversation challenge than it is anything else.
No doubt.
All right. Now, in your opinion, what's the best activity for building mental toughness?
Ooh, good one. So something that I find is the hardest thing to get mentally strong is consistency. You've got to breed that consistency into what you do, whether it's in the gym, your work life, your personal life. It's got to have consistency, because I find that if I don't keep that consistency, that's when everything else starts to fall apart. And consistency does not equal intensity. Like, I don't got to go out and crush a Murph every day, but you got to do something in all those areas of your life, and then bring them all into that one, just to keep the whole feng shui moving and keep everything going in the right direction. You've got to be consistent. So to me, getting a new mindset takes consistency. Putting yourself into a routine takes consistency. So it's all about being consistent. That's the biggest activity you can do, is just work on that. To me.
Love it. If you could only have one piece of equipment to train with for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Love this, because I asked my wife, she's like, you're just going to say that rower. And you're right. I'm going to say the rower, man. I love that concept too. I mean, if I want to destroy myself, I can. If I want to plug into an audiobook and row for an hour, I can. It's very therapeutic, or it can be very painful. So concept 2, rower.
Yeah, I got to get back on the rower. I've been off. I took a long hiatus here, but I think I'm gonna whip it back out.
That's not fun.
Bike erg.
I've been doing, everything's been bike erg lately, but I want to get the arms involved a little bit more. Like, there's only so much leg action one can take, but maybe I'll just go back and forth.
Yeah, I know I need to do it more because I dread it way more than the spin bike.
That's how I feel about it too. I'm like, yeah, I'll just get on the bike, and I'm like, well, the rower would be worse.
Yeah, that's exactly why I do it. I'm like, yeah, I got to get on that thing.
100%. So if you could add something to your gym, what would it be, equipment-wise?
Bike erg.
Or anything.
Yeah. I've been jonesing for the bike erg, and I don't know why. I've got the Echo bike. My wife's got an old Cybex inside, regular workout bike that'll adjust its, the level and all that stuff automatically for you. But I don't enjoy that as much, and it's inside in the air conditioning where it's comfortable. But I would I want a bike erg. So I'm kind of hoping that the pandemic sale starts hitting pretty soon, and everybody that bought them before they didn't really want them, they hope they go on the marketplace here soon. So
the spin bikes are really great to have, especially for throwing in zone 2 stuff.
Yeah,
that's why I like it.
I mean, like I said, my wife, I even posted in the group, we moved into this new house, big house. We got a big front sitting room, office type thing. It's not a bedroom, so it doesn't have a closet, but it's got 10-foot ceilings in it and stuff. And I could very easily set everything up inside of that room. But one, I was a little concerned about the new floors. And then I heard Jared talking on one of the podcasts, and he's like, no, it's different. There's garage gyms, there's home gyms.
Yeah.
They are not the same. And I was like, oh, I just automatically got guilted in the sweltering heat of Panhandle to set my gym back up out in the garage. Thank you.
Hey, you can be wherever you want. It's more about the equipment and the mindset is what I was really trying.
You just wouldn't be a garage gym athlete. Just a home gym.
If you want to be a garage gym, then don't hang your garage gym athlete banner in your extra room. No, that goes outside.
Yeah, at least where people have to be able to see it. That's.
Oh yeah, that's the next addition to the gym, I think.
The bike erg is awesome though. So I only use it like if I go on a longer ride. That's always on an actual bike. So that's how I really only use it when we do zone 2 or like in intervals and all that other stuff. And I haven't even had it a year, I don't think. And I hit 1,000,000 meters because it told me, it was like, hey, we want to recalibrate because you're at your 1,000,000 meter mark. And I was like, well, that happened fast. And it just goes by fast. And it was like, I feel like putting 1,000,000 meters on a rower is like, this is an exhausting feat. But the bike erg, it just kind of happened organically, which I thought was interesting.
Awesome. Yeah. And I don't know why I'm jonesing for one, and I don't need it, but it's one of those like it'd be cool to have kind of things.
Now, what is your best advice for all the garage gym athletes out there listening?
So a lot of this kind of ties into everything about keeping consistency and all that stuff. But you just have to embrace being uncomfortable with what you're doing. I know somebody wrote a book about something like that, but you got to get in a routine. And with that routine, it's easy to fall out of that routine. It's really hard to get back into it. So stay consistent, stay in your routine, do the programming as prescribed. Block 0, do block 0. I can't believe that people don't do block 0. That's your time to get your brain right before you start doing, tempo squats, million of all that kind of stuff. So there's my daughter. She totally had that.
Yeah. And I think that's awesome advice. And block 0 has actually become my audiobook time because I think I've shared that before on the podcast, but that's what it's turned into me for so now if I don't do block 0, I'm missing out on a lot of potential education. But that's awesome, Kris. I really appreciate your advice and for being around, man, being so dedicated and crushing it on this on cycle and being part of Garage Gym Athletes. So I really appreciate you being around and thanks for your time and for being here.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Thanks for listening to the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. If you want to learn more, go to garagegymathlete.com. You can learn about our training. Let us send you a copy of our book, The Garage Gym Athlete, or you can even get featured on the Garage Gym Athlete podcast. Thanks for listening.